Hey guys, welcome to another Tip and Trick Tuesday. Today I'm going to show you how you can actually get iMessage on Android. Thanks to a crafty young developer, we now actually have a viable way to use iMessage on Android. There is, as of course there is, one big caveat, and that's that you need to have iMessage and a Mac running at all times for this to work. Essentially, what happened was he figured out that while it would be against Apple's rules and he'd have to do some finagling to actually just get into Apple's servers and send out iMessages, because all of iMessage is on Apple's servers. Instead, he figured out that if he had a computer that was running iMessage, everything comes to that computer. He could then kind of use that as a proxy, have things send from the computer to your phone, from your phone back to the computer, and to Apple servers, and back and forth, and you get how that works, right? So this was his way kind of around it, and it seems to be working. Apple hasn't stopped it. It's not against any of their policies. So as long as you have an Android phone and you have a Mac that you don't mind leaving running with your iMessage running on it, this actually does work. Okay, so first up, we need Java to be running on your Mac. Now, a lot of you probably already have it installed because another program needed it, but just in case, and if not, we're gonna click the link beneath this video to be taken to my site, and then click this link here to be taken to Java site, where you're going to download the Java Jdk for Mac OS. So you'll see that right here. We're gonna click that guy. You need to accept it first, then click that guy, and save that to your desktop. Then once that's done downloading, we can click on it to open it. And double click the icon to install it. And go through the steps to install it. Okay, next we need to allow Terminal to be able to make changes to the computer. Terminal is the command line program that comes with your Mac, so it's nothing crazy. We're just gonna give it a little more permissions than it normally has. So to do that, we're gonna head to System Preferences, Security and Privacy, and then we go to Accessibility, and we're gonna click this little lock down here at the bottom to make changes, put in our password, and then we can click the plus button, and we're gonna add Terminal, which will be under Applications, all the way down here at the bottom, Utilities, Terminal. Hit open, and then we can close that. Then we need to download the Wii Server App from their site by clicking this link here that's linked beneath this video on my site. And we're gonna click download. And download for Mac OS, this will be the server versus the actual app that we get on our phone. And then we're just gonna save that to our desktop. Then we're going to double click the .zip file for the server, and it'll give us a new folder. Inside the folder, we're gonna double click run.command. Now, if you get this message that says that it is from an unidentified developer and it won't open it, that's fine, click OK. Then to get around that, we're gonna go to System Preferences, Security and Privacy, General, and you'll see under here, allow apps downloaded from App Store or other things. It'll say run.command was blocked. We're gonna say open anyway, and then click open. Then we can close this, and we're now in the beginnings of the program. So first thing we need to do is we need to put in our email that we use iMessage with. So this is our iCloud email that is connected to our iMessage account, and it has to be the right email. So put that in. Then you're gonna hit enter, and then you're gonna put in a password. Now the password can be anything you want. We just need it because we're gonna put it into the Wii Message app on our Android phone so that it can connect to this Wii Message server. It does not have to be the password you use for iCloud. It can be whatever you want. And then hit enter after that. Once we do that, it'll tell us that it's been started, everything is working properly, and then we're gonna focus on the app on our phone. Okay, then we're gonna go to the Play Store on our phone, and we're gonna type in Wii Message and download that. Once it's installed, we can click open, and it's gonna ask us for three things: an IP address, which we'll talk about in a second, the email, which is the one that we just set up, that was our iCloud iMessage email, and the password that we just set up as well. So you can put in the email and the password for now. The IP address, that we need to talk about. The IP address that it's talking about, there are two different types. There's a private one and a public one. The private one is actually what your network is giving the IP internally to your computer. So you can use that, and you can find that by going to System Preferences, Network, clicking on Advanced, TCP/IP, and you'll see this IPv4 address. Now you can use that, and if you do, this will only work if you're on your Wi-Fi network at home. So if the computer and the phone are both on the same Wi-Fi network, then you can use iMessage on the phone. But if you leave the house, which people tend to do, this will no longer work. So what we have to do is find our public IP address and create what's called port forwarding, or a open port, in order for us to then tunnel in through the outside internet into our private home internet and into the computer. It's not as complicated as it sounds, but it is different depending on what router you have and what manufacturer of that router, etc. So I'm going to show you how I do it with my Fios router, but you're just going to have to kind of Google around or YouTube and figure out where these different settings are within your particular router, but it should be something similar. Well, the first step to this is we need to find our router's IP. The fastest way to do that is to go into System Preferences, then go to Network, Advanced, TCP/IP, and you'll see router there. So if you highlight that, copy it and paste it into your browser, it will bring up your router's configuration page. Now, on this page, for mine, it says the username is admin, and then my password is actually written on my router. For you, you might want to Google default name of your router password. A lot of times people don't change it when they install it, and so then you could use that to log in. Otherwise, you can reset your router and make it back to the default and then use that to log in. Otherwise, you just have to Google, how do I find my password for my router? Once you do, though, you can then just log in. Okay, then once we're in here, we're gonna go to Firewall. It might be called Security or something similar. Yes, I do want to proceed. And then we're gonna click on Port Forwarding or something like that. And here we're going to select the IP. Well, we're going to select our computer from here. So we'll scroll down and select my MacBook Pro, David MBP. And the application we want to forward is going to be custom ports, and it's going to be 5.2s. Then we can click Add. And now that is saved there. We can click Apply. After that, we need to find our public IP, and to do that, we're going to go into Google and just type in what is my IP, and it'll actually show you your public IP address right there on the screen. It'll be a series of numbers and dots. I've blurred mine out here, but it'll be written right there for you. You're going to then take that, and we're going to put it into the app where it says IP on our phone, and then tap Sign In. And then once you log in, you'll be greeted by the UI. So I'm gonna tap the settings, and we're going to do sync contacts just to make it easier for you to then type to people instead of having to remember all their numbers or their email addresses. Start the process, make sure terminal has access, hit OK. And on your computer, you'll get a message that says terminal would like to access your contacts. You're gonna click OK. And then once it syncs your contacts, you can tap the plus button at the bottom to start a new conversation. And then obviously go into people's conversations here, and you'll get all of your normal fun stuff that you get with iMessage. And there you go. It goes without saying that your computer needs to stay plugged in and on, and messages and terminal need to stay open at all times, and it needs to be connected to the internet at all times in order for this to continue working. Now, if for some reason it does get disconnected, the program will actually keep a queue, and then once the device reconnects, it'll pull all the iMessages back in, apparently, according to the developer, so that's kind of cool. He's also, as I said, creating a bunch of new features and actively working on this, so that's nice as well. If you like this though, Let me know in the comments below what you thought of this tutorial, of me doing more tutorials like this, if there's any tutorials you'd like to see me do, etc. Would love to hear from you guys. If you did like this, though, please thumbs up it or share it. It is greatly appreciated. Also, don't forget to check out the rest of my channel. If you like what you see there, please subscribe. As always, though, regardless, thanks for watching.